Okay, I guess this is kind of an odd spot to start, but you know what? Here we are. Oh right, I'm paused because I have nothing else to do but fight the wolf. I've done some grinding. Now it's paused manual. There we go. Yeah, so I've gotten actually pretty dang good at farming. Look at that. Times 10 multiplier. Cooking's getting pretty good. Combat's still bad, but that's just because I don't get to grind too much. What else have we been doing? Yeah, we'll get to sailing in a bit. Don't worry about it. We'll get there. Do I have enough resources? The wolf is like almost problematic, but I'm so far ahead. I mean, if you notice, my health degen at this point is like just 1.1. We should probably... Oh, shit. I just realized I haven't actually hunted or cooked any rabbits here. There we go. I was wondering why the wolf was a little problematic, and the answer is, oh, because I forgot to do the most crucial thing. I've just been leaving this game running effectively. So whenever I start, it actually just, I believe, automatically just gets me to the wolf now. I could optimize a little bit better, and I probably should, but it's one of those where I'm getting to it. It's just taken a while. That's fine. I really like this game. I love the mental imagery of it, and gosh, maybe, I don't know. I don't know how I would handle it. Oh yeah, how many generations have I gone through? 26 generations, longest life has been 24 minutes, and I've cumulatively put about 8 hours and 20 minutes into it. I think Steam would care to disagree. Yeah, Steam has about 3 times as many hours in, just because I leave this game running while I'm playing like Final Fantasy XIV, which frankly is actually probably one of the better spots to put it. Oof. Yeah, my hunting skill is still kind of low compared to my fishing. What is my fishing at? It's pretty dang quick. My woodcutting is actually obscenely high. My farming is staying above, but I don't know, woodcutting might catch up. We will see. This song has a siren in the back, I believe, and it sounds like a police siren. It throws me off every time I'm listening to it because, you know what, it works. It's great for Outrun, you know, just being the background complement to standard Outrun music. But problem is, I keep thinking like, oh, the cops are outside. Maybe I should go check on, you know, what's going on. As a streamer, there's always that kind of background worry. No way it would ever happen right now, because I'm not even streaming. But you know, there's the ever-present fear of somebody doxing me or like figuring out where I live and then swatting me, which would be nothing short of incredibly inconvenient and potentially deadly. And luckily, it doesn't seem like it's, you know, it's nearly as common for people to get killed as a result of swatting. But that's been, like, I'm not scared of much, but being swatted is like one of those big things that just inherently scares me. I think I might actually have to get rid of this song though. Yeah, I think I'm going to. Let's see. But so, one of my biggest fears is, yeah, getting swatted and, you know, whatever responding officers are not in the know or don't even understand. I remember back when I lived in Kansas, this is during the time where in a town couple towns over, a guy had gotten swatted, but it wasn't even the right guy. Like, I think they got the wrong house, but they effectively just shot a guy as part of a I don't want to say a swatting gone wrong because all swattings go wrong, but like, you know, they were responding and they just saw the man leaving his house and or apartment, no indication of like a weapon or anything like that, and they just shot the guy just out on the street. And so as part of this, I'd actually like called my local police department and been like, hey, did you hear about this? You know, is there some way that I can like let you know that if somebody calls about me, that it's more likely than not like a hoax? And they were obviously kind of suspicious and had not heard any of the news or anything like that. And so there was just kind of this like really awkward short conversation with whatever officer I was speaking with. I don't think it was anybody high up, but it's just like, hey, swatting is like a real thing and I might become a victim of that. Is there some way that I can like, you know, work with the police department so I don't have to worry about it as much? And the answer was just like, Nope. I was like, oh, okay, that's scary. That's legitimately spooky. And I mean, like, baseline, I think I'm going to be fine just because I don't think anybody's ever really going to figure out where I live. And since I don't do face cam ever, there's not nearly as much of a fear. Because with face cam, there's kind of the, I don't want to say that face cam makes stuff like that alluring to swatters, but it's not nearly as interesting if, you know, just the stream goes dead. You want to see the face cam, you know, the person freak out on camera. And so if I'm not showing my face, hopefully that will never be an attractive option, but it's always been kind of forefront in terms of things that I'm generally scared about. Okay, did I read the lore for this? Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. You made it to the other side of the cave. It looks like there are apples hanging from those trees. They look edible. Making it to the other side of the lake felt easy with this bridge. There also seem to be rabbits on this side of the lake. You can probably hunt some. However, it seems there's also a wolf on this side of the lake. You know what needs to be done. So much for the wolf. You're getting pretty good at this now that you're able to see a bit further. It appears there's a shore nearby. Okay, so we're just going to restock on food for a second. Okay. Restock on those. And then we're going to explore the shore. I know I have too much stuff and that I probably could have just done the exploration, but my thing is, the more stuff I can front load, the more EXP I get, so I don't really care about efficiency, because every action that I do is progress. And in fact, to some degree, getting my hunting skill so it's like lightning fast, which is actually, it is getting there. Because the instinct level on it is 122, it's just that rabbits take so much longer. Okay, so I gotta raft. Let's probably do raft and then rabbits, just in case we have we run out. We might not. Because no matter what, I want to go. I want to hop on that raft with a full stomach of food, because there's a very real possibility I'm just gonna starve on it otherwise. Let's see. Oh, yeah. It seems there's an island on the other side of the water, but it's definitely too far for a bridge to cover. Perhaps some floating objects could help here. Yeah. Also, shout out to the developer for this game. They were very nice and reached out after the stream of me playing this, and we're very appreciative. I don't know. I don't want to say that, like, it... As a content creator, it's very validating when a developer reaches out and is like, thank you so much. But it is actually quite validating all the same. Just because I spent so many years kind of... I don't want to say working in a void. Yeah, kind of working in a void. But, you know, my channel was very much this kind of solitary existence that I was working with developers, but it was rare that any of them would acknowledge my existence. And it was kind of neat. It is kind of neat when I get to interact with developers that are like, oh, you exist. I'm like, yeah, I do exist. Okay, so we got the raft. We're just gonna load back up on everything we're missing before we go. And it doesn't look like we've gotten to the point where we even need to start eating rabbits, so that's a good sign. What's my fishing level? Actually dang good. And my speeds are getting ridiculous, like 1.77 fish per second. The mental image of this guy just being able to catch a fish that fast. I don't know if you guys have ever been fishing, but it is slow and it is boring, unless you got like sunnies, and even then it's slow. Also, why is boarding my raft take like half a minute? I guess if I'm loading things up. The island looks mysterious yet tempting. You're definitely going to need a raft to get there. Once you've entered your raft, you'll lose access to all jobs except for fishing, so you might want to save up some of your reserves. Well, I think I've loaded up. What I might want to do is, right before this is done, restock on a couple of things. Because I can stop right before we've boarded it. Alright, there we go. Let's just restock. Not that I'm in dire straits, but like I said, it'd be pretty sad if we hop on the boat and then immediately run out of food. Since we haven't even gotten to the point where I'm eating rabbits, I think I'm in a comfortable position. Okay. And it is now time to sail to the island. Unfortunately, my nautical skill is terrible. I think I've only ever done this like twice. All aboard and ready to set sail. This is going to be a tough ride, especially since you can't reach most of the resources now. Let's hope your preparations will suffice. I mean, I'm feeling good. This is taking forever, though. So, as far as me playing and recording more of this, I don't necessarily know how it's going to go. It's definitely going to be a here and there series, just because I adore it, but it also does require quite a lot of grinding in between. And the last couple, I guess the first 3 videos were very much just everything shown, and then I left the game running for, you know, a while longer between sessions, so I can progress. So it's probably going to be one of those that I just get a little bit further, really beef my stats out, and then say like, okay, now it's time to record part of an episode. And so, like, you might be listening to me from multiple different, like, I guess, time periods, question mark? Not, like, too much, but it's like, you know, this is currently Tuesday evening Wanderbot, and the second half of this episode might be Thursday morning or something. I don't think I'm going to be terribly consistent with it either, just because consistency is unhealthy for me. At this point, I'm more interested in just loading up a game for fun. Too often I found myself ending up in this, I don't want to say a black hole of negativity, but there was this rough feeling of... Well, first I should look at this. See, it's a tough ride, but you made it to the island. All sorts of new adventures await you here. Well, we're going to restock on my cooked fish, and we can catch some more while we're here too. Good. And we are starting to get to the point where we're eating rabbits too, but I think we can still make it to the village, no problem. But so much of my my life over the last like 8 years, going on 9 actually, yeah, it was very much like, okay, wake up every day, make sure you have enough footage for every single series, you know, to go out that day or that week or something like that, and then stream for X number of hours, and then, you know, maybe have a couple hours to myself at the end of every day. And the constant pressure to record another episode of Increlution, you know, Increlution episode 4, which I believe this is going to be. Hey, we're not dead yet. I'm actually quite surprised. Last time I got here, I starved to death as soon as I spoke to the fisherman, which might actually still happen. Let's cook our rabbits before we do anything else. The degradation is definitely starting to speed up a little bit, but that's okay. So you made it to the village. It appears to be quite a cozy little town. There are a few people living here. Let's get to know them. Oh yeah, that's a minute and a half difference. Go figure. Wow, I'm making really good time here. It really is just the basic levels on like wood cutting and construction, and even mining, because my mining level's got to be digging. Yeah, it's getting up there too. But yeah, we're just going to talk to these people and hopefully maybe get a new food source. We'll see. But, so right before recording this, I had like another game I wanted to do a one-off for. And I was just staring at Steam for a couple minutes just looking at it and thinking, boy, I really just don't want to play this. I'd rather just like play a little bit of Increlution. And I think that's going to be specifically the core focus for me for at least a little while. Of just like, hey, I want to play this game right now. And then if it's a game that is like somehow a linear plot, I think that's very much going to be my thing that I just play on my own. Thanks to the fisher, you now know how to catch herring. Delicious for raw consumption, especially with pickles and onions, but raw will just do. Okay, so I can catch the herring. Let's start by cooking our rabbits, though. I don't think I'm gonna catch the herrings. It looks like it can actually catch them pretty quickly. However, part of the reason why I wanted to record for this moment is I want to talk to the farmer. Now, you might be wondering, why are you talking to the farmer if you're about to die? Well, the real answer is, I want to starve to death while talking to an NPC because the mental image of that makes me giggle. You know, can you imagine, man rolls into town with just 20 cooked rabbits and 20 cooked fish in a bag. He looks like he's just seen some shit. And hey, we can now hunt rabbits automatically. We're still not there on cooking them, but still. But like, the dude looks like he's been through some business, fought a wolf, fought a spider, sailed across the sea, built a damn bridge, has 2 huts with him, I believe, considering we're keeping the reduced health degradation, so like it's gotta be some part of the system that we have the huts just on our backs, question mark, or in our back, I don't know, man. But, you know, walks up with all this food and is just chatting with you and scarfing down endless amounts of hunted rabbits and fish before he just passes away at your feet. Can you imagine that? Just take a moment and get that mental image of this just absolute wild man just furiously attempting to socialize and talk to you while inhaling endless fish. And then he dies mid-conversation with, like, no preamble. I mean, you probably see him just, like, degrading, just melting in front of you, and you're like, what is going on? I love it. Purely based on the way the health degradation works in this game is probably my favorite part about it, because it's just so weird and nutty. Just trying to imagine a character that dies like this. Anyway, time to grind. I don't even remember where I'm at. What is going on? Where am I? Oh, I'm in the middle of the village. Hi. Paused manual, paused empty queue. So last time, remember, we were stuck at the village. I've been grinding this off camera, and I think the last thing that happened when I was recording it was I starved to death in the middle of talking to the farmer. I'm not going to starve to death while I'm talking to the farmer on this one, at the very least. You can just run Increlution in the back on full auto grind to grind instinct. Is there an auto grind? I don't know if I have access to that as a feature yet, because I'm only on generation 33. I'm not that far in. I know quite a lot of people have picked this game up in the aftermath of me trying it out, and a bunch of people were talking about being like hundreds of reincarnations in, and I'm like, ugh, how even? Ugh. But let's see, there kind of is, but not quite. Yeah, because usually what I do is I leave it until I get stuck, and then I have to actually pay attention to what I'm doing. My goal at some point, it doesn't have to be soon, but my goal at some point is very much to still have a supply of berries by the time I get to these guys. Actually, we might just not gather them before we go. We might just kind of ignore their existence. Well, my HP generation isn't too bad, so I'm just gonna let this this tick down for a bit. You can set the game to automatically get so far, and then you have to pay attention. Yeah, that's what I was thinking it would be. Combat eats all your berries. Oh, that's a good point. Unless you get my combat to be, like, obscene, then I delete wolf. Or delete spider, then delete wolf. It's gonna take a bit, though. Yeah, where are my meters at? Farming is decent, but I haven't... Oh, yeah, it's only 17 on this generation. Woodcutting's only 28. No. Huh. No. Yeah, I guess that 11 level difference makes a huge difference in terms of multipliers at the moment, because my instinct bonus really does multiply now. I love reading the story and text for this game, and every time I'm like, I must know the next part. Yeah, currently, gosh, I don't even remember the last thing I read, because we got to the island, we made it to the village. It appears to be a quite cozy little town. There are quite a few people living here. Let's get to know them. Thanks to the fisher, you know how to catch a herring. Delicious for raw consumption, especially with pickles and onions, but just raw will do. The farmer seems fond of you and says that you can gather grain whenever you want, as long as you don't hurt the chickens, which seems fair. And after a pleasant chat, the baker decided to share with you an old family recipe for the cake. It takes quite a while to bake, but it tastes better than bread. The baker decided to also share an old family secret with you. Baking works better in an oven than on a campfire. Oh, so we have to make the oven, which probably will scale it up. How long is that going to take? Oh, but I got to get copper, which means I need the miner, which means I don't want to do that yet. So let's catch herring, gather grain, bake bread, gather grain again, bake cake, gather grain again, and then meet the miner. And we're just going to leave that to go. It started around the same time as you and made it to Generation 73. Because I'm recording this for YouTube, my plan is to kind of, I don't want to say, record this somewhat sparingly. But I don't want to blow past where I was last. Because, you know, I want to show the whole journey. And if I'm suddenly just like, and I'm in the village, and I've left the village because now I'm like a weird fruit god. They can just vacuum berries from across the country to keep myself alive. Like, you know, gets kind of boring real quick. I mean, boring, maybe just detached. It's hard to say. On the flip side, I know this game is like ridiculously long, and so there's a very real possibility that yeah, I'm just gonna be grinding away at this for quite some time. At least my HP degradation isn't too bad yet. I'm mostly just grinding up so that my gathering and baking skills are nice and high. Here. You know what? Actually, while we're here, let's dump this. Let's go meet the miner. Let it restock on rabbits. Let's meet the miner, because if I can get the miner, then we can get the stone oven, and that'll speed up the whole bread baking process, which actually, yeah, I don't know why I was putting that off. Now I'm thinking about it, especially because I've got a decent chunk of food to rely on at the moment. In general, I found that the tools bonus is actually really, really important, so always build and make any tool you can possibly make every time you can make it. Yeah. What's my social stat at? 4.2? That's the other thing I do need to be grinding up. I've never actually gotten past this point, so I don't know what's going to happen. The miner is very open to you and allows you to use the mine whenever you want. It contains stone like you're quite used to, but also some copper that seems a bit trickier to dig. It might just be useful for the other forms of construction. So, we also have a copper club, which increases my construction skill. So do I go for the copper club first? Requires 10 copper. How much copper every 14 seconds? Because I could go for the club and then the stone oven if I don't die beforehand. I'm gonna go for the oven. They're sure the club is for construction. Oh, no, you're right. Multiplier for your combat skill. I think I was looking at the wrong thing. Yeah, I saw construction speed increases with your construction skill, and I just, like, mentally switched that for this increases your construction skill speed. And it's like, okay, sure. Music's a little loud. I'll turn it down. There we go. That's a bit better. Oh, you know the nice thing about this? I'm playing Increlution in the background. I literally... I really could actually just swap between the two. At least for a little while. Oh, that's wild. Because, yeah, I'm waiting... Or, did I say I'm playing Increlution on the side? I'm playing Realm Grinder on the side. Well, you know what? Do I want to just open up Perfect Tower? Just really cycle these? Play Increlution, but play all these other ones while I'm just doing other side grinding just the way through, like a weird creature that I am. I could do it. Maximum stacking. All right, because the main problem with Increlution is it's a lot of just sitting and watching. It's not a very active incremental game, which makes it perfect, but it means that I'm going to just be standing around kind of doing nothing for a while, and I'm not against it, but like, if you're going to be playing one of these games... Here. Okay, give me a second. I gotta set this up while we're just here. Duplicate. Okay, this is going to be incremental hell. Alright, let's see. So let's hide audio. We don't want display cap... Well, I guess I could turn on display capture. You know, that would be the easiest way to do this. Oh! Never mind. Full screen is hell. Do not full screen Perfect Tower 2. It breaks everything. Okay. New YouTube series, Incremental Hell. I mean, I could. The thing is, Realm Grinder itself, Realm Grinder itself is a mostly active thing. It's just every once in a while you hit a wall and you have to just wait. Let's see. This is going to be Perfect Tower. Perfect Tower 2. Okay. Like that on. Why? Oh, I see. Nope. I don't think you can window capture the Perfect Tower, which is... What? It's like almost kind of perfect, but not really. Because yeah, if I set it to full screen, it's not a windowed for full screen. How the hell did I record this thing previously? Because yeah, if I do this, it breaks my whole resolution. As you guys can see, which is unfortunate. And yeah, it doesn't record. Okay, I might have to nix Perfect Tower. Or just go with the other option. Let's just get rid of this one. I could just do display capture is the other option. Alright, here we go. We'll just do that. So we finished the oven, yeah? I'm mostly gonna be focused on Increlution, but other games are just going to guest star in when nothing is going on. I'm waiting for meters to fill, because it gets longer and longer as we go. So how much faster? Oh boy, that's faster. How much grain do I have? I've got 20 grain. So let's just make a bunch of bread. And then a bunch of cakes. And then we might as well try and make the Copper Club, just to scale things up. Yeah, the Increlution developer announced the next few chapters are near completion. Yeah, he sent me a lovely message after I finished streaming last time. Okay. But it's just... Oh, right. I'm going to turn off the sound effects. If we're having another game guest starring in... you know what? I can make this really small, because Perfect Tower really doesn't have much going on, so I can just put it here. Oh, perfect. The Perfect Tower. The perfect placement. It does bring up my lower UI, but you can just see how many programs I have running at the moment. It's fine. I've been offline for a while, and what have I gotten in Perfect Tower? Let's keep adding windows. I really could. Tower testing. No. Workshop. How much do I have? No, nothing. I guess I wasn't doing any offline grinding, and I'm not sure how to do that. Oh, it's fine. Okay, normal. I don't think I'm ready for... Wait, no. If I do idle, idle is slightly less interesting. No, we want endless. That's the trick. This is... It's almost obscene. I love it. It's great. Okay, let's just invest as much as we possibly can. Oh, interesting. The murder platform that I built as my tower has actually just disappeared. It is no longer visible. I made it a flat thing. It's just not there anymore. Oh, baby. Yeah. Anyway, I'm just going to keep grinding in Perfect Tower here and there while we're waiting for Increlution to finish. Because Realm Grinder broke. Oh, it broke bad. Because I swapped my resolution. That's what messed it up. Alright, let's turn Realm Grinder back on. You can't stop me. Nothing can stop me. I do feel a bit bad. Anybody that's following my path through Increlution is now going to have to go through like 5 other games. Oh shit, we are dying fast in Increlution. Look at my health just bottom out. Making these cakes takes a while, but it's also keeping me alive. Let's see, do I have enough grain? I don't know. I mean, we're on the death spiral. I just feel bad for the baker. We're in the baker. Oh, no, we made our own oven. But we're in the... we're in this town, we've made an oven, probably out in just kind of the middle of nowhere, and everybody's just confused as to what's going on, and I'm dead. That's fine. But they're like, okay, what is this guy up to? And then, sweet Jesus, as I'm just baking 20 cakes and shoving them into my face as I'm just degrading visibly in front of everyone. It's ghoulish. I might as well just level these up. I don't think a whole lot of things are going to be able to even touch me. Oh, I should probably also maybe invest a little bit into this. Right, and we don't have the go faster mode, and won't for a little while. Okay. Well, the nice part is, much of Increlution at this point is pretty much automated, so I can do whatever the heck I want, and be totally fine. But yeah, like I said, anybody that's been following this game and me playing it is going to have, they're going to be a little confused as to why all of these other games have shown up. How's this going? Let's see. Well, it's been cast 30 times. We might be able to do some more with Realm Grinder today. Maybe. Because, yeah, all of a sudden I've added... This is like the ultimate crossover episode between half of the games that I'm playing. Where it's just like, hey, what if I have, like, more incremental games just mixed in? I could probably mix another one in. If I wanted to be really aggressive, I'd probably... I'd probably mix in, like, Bitburner. Bitburner is the one with the JavaScript programming, right? For Vampire Survivors in there. I don't think I can pull that one off. I could feasibly do, oh, what am I thinking? I could feasibly do something like Rogue Tower. We'll see. Let's see. I'd recommend either NGO Idol or Idol Slayer, and they're both quite good. Yeah. Maybe after we're done with Increlution and have hit more of a wall. I mean, I guess we have hit a wall. But I'll keep going for at least a little bit longer. But maybe we play another incremental game and add it to the mix. I know I've got some friends that have been playing Orb of Creation, so I think that might be the one I get into. Because, I'll be honest, Orb memes are, like, weirdly satisfying. Screw easy to follow Let's Plays. This series is an incremental idle soup. I love the wording on that. And my end goal for all of this is to play a bunch of incremental games, and then actually sit down and talk about the good ones. I mean, I think there's quite a lot of them that are very good. Let's see, upload this video for each of the series, just put it into the playlist. I mean, I could. Have you guys ever read Marvel comics? Because every time they do like a crossover event, that's exactly what happens. Where you'll just be like reading, oh, you know, Spider-Man, and it's like, oh man, Spider-Man is like doing this thing. And then all of a sudden, like, Mary Jane is dead, and you're like, what happened? It's like, you need to go read like 10 issues of Iron Man to understand why. And I'm like, what? What? And it's honestly exhausting to be subjected to those, because then you really do have to cross over, but there's like different artists and some other things. She's dead. She's been dead and then comes back, and it's Marvel. There's no such thing as canon in Marvel. There's just purely crossover soup. I want a second version of Increlution. Maybe take a look at Loop Odyssey. That one got a lot of hate for sharing a style with Loop Hero. It's not sharing a style, though. That one very much was just like, hey, Loop Hero is doing really well. Let's just take its art style and name and lean on that to become more marketable. And I can understand, like, okay, it's fine. You know, they are completely different games. But at the same time, I have some standards. Okay. So how are we doing? We're still fighting the spiders. This is the problem with trying to record Increlution is as much as I like it, you really do have to mix something else in. It's not the kind of thing that you can just kind of hang out and do. Unless you want to hang out and podcast. What if they were in development before Loop Hero? Possible, but unlikely. Especially considering how similar those art styles are. Like, Loop Hero has a very distinct art style. And for somebody to mimic it, or for another game to have the exact same art style, is more indicative that somebody was just trying to mimic it for their own benefits, rather than, an accidental coincidence or something like that. I'm trying to think of a good example of a game with like a really specific art style that would be hard to replicate. I would say, to a lesser degree, anything by Supergiant. Or, yeah, Undertale. Undertale, like, mechanically, for example. The heart dodging, kind of bullet hell aspects. Any game that comes after that, you really know that it's based on Undertale. Is it a windowed mode issue that your tower's invisible? No, I just made my tower so flat that it's not visible. I'm trying to think of games with really, really distinct art styles. I guess an easy one I could think of would be sort of Cuphead. Because it's not that Cuphead pioneered rubber hose animation styles. But at the same time, Darkest Dungeon. I guess Darkest Dungeon is kind of in there. It would be like if oh shoot. What was the game? Eratus, Lord of the Dead. If Eratus, Lord of the Dead had an art style that was closer to Darkest Dungeon, and then a name that was like, you know, Dark Dungeon Keeper or something like that, or just something, just maybe Darkest Crypt. You know, if they called it Darkest Crypt, kept the art style, or took the art style of Darkest Dungeon, and then just were super unapologetic about, like, yeah, we just more or less cloned this game, or they're, I don't know. But yeah, a dungeon darkening the Darkest Crypt. But if they were closer in visual style and name to Darkest Dungeon, it would have felt just so unabashedly shameless in a way that would have made it, I would say, unattractive. Ori and Hollow Knight were very distinctive. Yeah. And so I've actually seen quite a number of games trying to be Hollow Knight. I know there was one Metroidvania, or there were a couple Metroidvanias that came out in somewhat recent memory that were all very much like, hey, you know, remember Hollow Knight? We made Hollow Knight, but this time it's underwater. Or this time it's also underwater. And it's like, what's even the point? Because at that point, I'm just going to play Hollow Knight. Now, admittedly, for Loop Odyssey, it's a completely different game. But the problem is that borrowing of the style was so painfully shameless that I have a hard time as like a content creator looking at that game and saying, yeah, I will play this without being somewhat kind of dismissive of it, just baseline, if that makes any sense. I'm trying to think of some other games. Well, I was playing a game recently. I'm forgetting the name of it already, unfortunately. It was that Final Fantasy tactical roguelike that I played a couple days ago. That, like, one of the characters straight up just looks like he was pulled from Final Fantasy Tactics. They mirrored the character face and everything, and it's just a little tacky looking. And the humor was also bad, but playing it, you know, at first I was like, oh man, this is going to be really cool. And then I realized that there wasn't a whole lot of immediate creativity behind it. It was just kind of like, yeah, we're just going to borrow a lot of things from this popular game that exists. It's just kind of like, lose interest. Like, I will give a lot of credit to Stardew Valley for, sure, while it's a Harvest Moon similar kind of game, it's still one of those that it does a lot different, and it waited long enough to be respectful. And the writing also didn't do that game any favors. Yeah, it was really awkward. Anytime a game gets like super juvenile with its writing, unless it's specifically a game that is inherently juvenile to begin with, like I could accept it from some Devolver Digital games, for example. Like if they want to get uncouth, they can, and I'm not going to bat an eye. Let's see. Oh, right. There's a game I was going to look up. When does Koromon come out? Koromon. It's saying March 31st. Okay, so I've got till the end of the month. That's good. Something like Fantaland. Right. Yeah. Journey to Fantaland or something? I don't know. But yeah, it was immediately... It reminded me of playing Dungeons and Dragons as a child. You know, I had no idea what good writing was or how to be a good DM. I just kind of did whatever. It's the GameCube Harvest Moon art style. Yeah, it was pretty. I didn't actually play a whole lot of it, but I remember it looking really nice. And then we spent 2 hours at my friend's house trying to starve a cow to death. And that cow hung on. It was wild. And it also wasn't actually that fun, either. Cripes. I am very glad that I haven't been doing a whole lot with Increlution as, like, streaming or whatnot. This very much is not the kind of game I think I will ever be able to, cover as a content creator, if that makes sense. Same thing to some degree with Perfect Tower. Both of these are games that really do require you to be so hands-off. You can't do anything about it. Because like this one, you just make a couple of choices towards the end. And then eventually it automates itself out of the system. Or it automates itself to the point where you're not doing it anymore. I don't mind it, but it's definitely the perfect game for me to be playing on my own when I'm playing like Final Fantasy. I think that's exactly what I need to do, is just kind of play it on my own. And not try and do incremental soup. As fun as it is, and as attractive as the idea is, a lot of these are things that I could just be doing on my own while I'm doing something else. 48. That's not bad. What game were you trying to starve a cow to death? We were playing Harvest Moon. It was one of the Harvest Moons on the GameCube. But one of my brother's friends was a little bit of a sociopath. I'm sure he wasn't actually like that bad, but there was definitely that kind of feeling of just like, why are we doing this again? And it's like, because it's funny, and it's just like, not really, no. Like, we thought it was going to be a funny, like, 10-minute haha, we're terrible people thing, and then it turned out to be like a 2-hour ordeal where half of us went off to go make banana bread instead, which was more fun. Let's see, how tough are these suckers? Yeah, eventually I'm going to get overwhelmed, but we are also on easy and have a lot of resources, which is kind of nice. Similar games, I should look up Idle Loops. Came out before Increlution. I think Increlution is better. Yeah, I wouldn't mind checking out some more incremental games just across the board. Oh, hey, we actually got to the point where we have new things that I have to choose to do. Whoa, thank you, Faye, for the 10 gifted subs. Thank you so much. Also, thank you, Epherian, not Epherian, for the 19-month resub, and Bashboy for the 45-month resub. Sorry I missed those. I was probably deep in the Realm Grinder and could see nothing else. Did thing, got bored, made banana bread. Banana bread is good stuff, though. Okay, well, this is going to take forever, and while I could do some more, I might as well let this, let Increlution grind on itself, for a time before I catch back up again. We'll get to the point where I've unlocked some new content that I can talk about as we go by, because, boy, I think I've been recording this, yeah, for 28 minutes, and I think we're just getting back to the island from where we started, which is fine, unless you're trying to roll a series on it.